We had seen just now how we write the letter. Because it's formal one, we are not supposed to write any kind of greetings or something else like good morning sir or something. Directly you are going to come to the matter. Our school is celebrating silver jubilee on so and so date. Mention it. Yes, we request you to be the chief guest for the function and give away the prizes. That will be the first paragraph. Second paragraph you will write, looking forward for an affirmative reply in a week. Thank you. Leave a line and then you write thank you. See, those who have a little more of creativity can do some other things. In case you feel that the chief guest is not able to take that 29th date, whatever you have given, you can ask the chief guest to tell their preference in that week. That also you can do, as I already told you. Yes, you will leave a line and then you will write thank you. From close to the margin, please remember, I already explained it, I am writing it now. Yours sincerely. Do not forget that it is just YOURS. That's all. No apostrophe. And sincerely spelling must be correct. SINCERELY. By heart it, those who have a doubt. Is it clear? And then what will you do? You will leave a line and you will sign whatever the designation is given, and then you will write that person's name. If at all there is a post that is designation, you can write that. Is it clear? I am not closing it because it is not in a box. This is with formal invitation for a single person to be the chief guest. We usually write formal letters only in this manner when it is for a single person. Everyone understood about this? Now let us go to the formal invitation when the number is more. Shall we go to that? What is this one where the number is more? It is in the card model. The card model, as soon as we say card model, again remember the regular style. In case this is my page, what am I supposed to do? First think about the margins that we have. Assume that this is question number 4. B. Do not forget to write the question number and the letter interconnected to it. This is the first thing that we have to do. Just as you have drawn the box for notice, here also you are going to draw the box. So again, for this letter, whichever letter has box format, do not go to the second page. Is it understood? Write in a fresh page. Clear? So you will start it from the beginning itself. I am drawing again from close to the margin, the box. And this letter, this card model of invitation always has to be in center alignment. What is the meaning of center alignment? We also call it as display. It means that whatever you are writing, each line that you are writing has to be in the center. Is this clear? So, now let us assume that what is the question that we wrote for practice just before? Inviting the IAS officer for being the chief guest for Silver Jubilee function of sports day, you said. Fine, for the sports day. Now let us write an invitation to parents and others for the same reason. How are we going to write it? First thing, in case, see, this card model, you should remember that we are writing it again in 2 varieties. One is official variety like schools, colleges and all that. Another one is relatives and friends. 2 varieties are there in this. When it comes to official style, we write it in one way. For example, you simply write the management, principal, teachers and students. These 4 words you will write in one line. What is that? The management. Always go in hierarchy. Top one to the lowest one. Management, principal, staff and students. So I forgot to add and. So 5 words come in the first line. Is it understandable? Everyone. Yes? Next line, only one word you will write, of. So let me put dashes here. The management, principal, staff and students. Let me erase it. How many did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I forgot to tell you about the. Why are we writing the? It is because it is specific. You should write the. So in the first line, if it is official kind of an invitation from a school, college or any organization, you are writing in this. In the next line, you are going to write only one word, that is of. Can we write like this, O capital letter and the next letter small? Yes, we can write. No need of botheration of punctuations for every line here. First line you wrote the management, principal, staff and students. Second line you have written of. What's the name of the school that they had given, school or college, whatever is given, you write it in center alignment. So what school did I tell you to write, college or school? I didn't tell the name of it. So let us simply take ABC college. It will be easy for us. Of ABC college. See here children, one more thing you can remember is, you can write the name of this organization a little bigger also, even in the examination. It is accepted. Is it clear? You can write like that so that it will be highlighted. Now you told who is inviting and which school or which organization is inviting. What's the next thing that you have to get here? Invite you. Why are they inviting you? Who is this you here? Whoever is reading it. It can be X, Y, Z, Tom, Dick and Harry. Anyone, whoever is reading, they will understand that you are being invited. For what? You can again write one line, one word, for. And next line you can write sports day. You have written when it is, you have written the occasion. Now after you write the occasion, you must remember when it is, where it is. Yes. So when will it, where will it usually be or when can it be? We already invited the chief guest. Yes. What date did we tell? 29th. Am I right? So sports day. You can write here on the 29th September. You can write short like this. It is accepted. 2024. So shall I erase it and write it a little bit in the center? Yes. After we wrote the date, what's the next thing that you should remember? Time. See, there are many people who write even day also along with it. In case you can calculate the day, write it. Otherwise, leave it. Understood? Don't unnecessarily break your head by writing calendar there and checking it out. Not necessary. In case in the question they have given the day, write it. Or simply if you feel like writing, don't. It will be a nuisance if you write simply Sunday or Monday. Don't write the day. After you tell the date, next thing is time. Without the time, we cannot expect them to come early morning and sit and when is the chief guest going to come, when is the program going to start, it will not at all be clear. So what are we going to do? We are telling them the date and then we are telling them the time and then we'll tell them the premises. Yes. So when will sports day usually start? Mornings or evenings? Usually mornings. Remember, cultural events are usually in the evening. Sports events are usually in the mornings. So you can write on 29 September 2024 at 9 a.m. If you wanted to mention even the ending time, first itself you plan. What I am saying here is, I am simply saying at 9 a.m. If it is at 9 a.m., do you think it is correct? It's wrong, because will it start at that time and it will finish off? No. So let us write between. Nine to 1 p.m. Pardon me? If you want, you can mention clearly here AM also. Do not write in capital letters AM, PM. This is wrong. Is it understood? Only small letters are to be used here. Is this clear till here? We have told them the date, we told them the time also. What's the next thing which is important? Who is the chief guest? Isn't it? That is important again. It is because it's an occasion which is very important. Someone is talking behind and I'm getting a lot of disturbance here. How does it look if we write like this, the chief guest of the event is? Does it look good or it doesn't look good? It doesn't look good. So what are we supposed to do? We are simply going to write again in the center alignment. So how are we going to tell that point? We'll tell them the name of the chief guest directly. So what name did we take? Mr. Arvind. Did I say Arvind? What is his post? IPS. Mr. Arvind IPS. Let us write in the next line. This you can write in the center. Has consented to be. I have written like this, Mr. Arvind IPS has consented to be, and here I am writing in the center, the chief guest. Yes? Is it clear? If you wanted to add any other details like presiding officer or any other thing, you add. Actually, it is waste of time and energy. Our concentration is who is issuing it, what is the occasion, when is the occasion, what are the timings, and who is the chief guest. That's all. After that, what are we going to say? There are people who write about these things in many ways when it is coming to college or school. They say 2 persons are allowed per invitation. Such kind of things are also printed. Don't bother about it. Is it clear? And what's the next thing that you remember that you have to write? I wanted answers from you. Pardon me? Yes, we forgot about the premises. Where should we have written the premises? In the beginning itself, we should have written. So we missed it here on the 29th September 2024 between 9 AM to 1 PM at school. If it is school, it is school. Here we wrote college, isn't it? At I'm adding this at college premises. Yes, and then we have written about the name of the chief guest, and after that what are we going to write? If you feel like writing, you can write program overleaf because it is an invitation to the parents. Some people print the program overleaf, that is behind the invitation. Some people don't. You can add it. Here, this is not part of the invitation, so you can write here from close to the margin, program overleaf. That's all, and you're closing it. Is it understood? Any doubts? Any doubts, please? Is there any other thing that you need to clarify? Do we write the same kind of a thing when it comes to a marriage occasion or a birthday function or housewarming ceremony, year boring ceremony? Usually you get for marriage any kind of anniversaries like silver jubilee celebrations, such kind of things are there, housewarming and birthday. These are the things that we can get for invitations other than this official variety of thing. Now, what is the difference between this and that? Shall we see those? Now, in case we take someone's marriage, again I am drawing the margin. Let us not forget, it has to be remembered all the time that you must write question numbers. For this I am writing another number, I am writing 6 and I am writing B. Let us assume that you are the brother or sister of Sita, not Sita. What name shall we take? Any idea? We will take Sita itself. You are the brother or sister of Sita and your parents are getting your sister married to Mr. Ram. Sita Ram is easy, isn't it? That's the reason why I had taken such a kind of a combination. Please do not write your friends' names and make fun of them, because many students are doing it. In the board examination, we don't see what you are writing, but in the regular examinations, you are not supposed to do such things. Is it understandable? In the board examination, you write. Since we don't read, we do not know what you are going to write. But here, whatever names are given, you write. If no names are given, what are we supposed to do? Take standard names like Ram and Sita or any other John and Mary. And in Islam, if you have any names like that, you take those names. Take standardized ones. Is it clear? Everyone understood that point? So, if it is inviting anyone for the sake of marriage, you are the brother or the sister and you are writing the invitation on behalf of your parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dasharath. Correct? Is it Dasharath or who is Sita's father and mother? I forgot. Fine, we'll take some other name. Mr. and Mrs. Gopal. That person is writing. Parents are Mr. and Mrs. Gopal. The bride who is getting married is Sita, and you are no botheration about your name, whether you are a brother or a sister, because that doesn't come into the invitation. Did all understand the question? Yes. Now, when it is a college one or a school one, what we had seen is the management, principal, staff and students, we are writing that way. But this, how are we supposed to write? You will start with Mr. and Mrs. There are some people who think that should we write Mrs. and Mr. or Mr. Anything is all right. You can write Mrs. and Mr. or Mr. and Mrs. It is acceptable. So, you write in this way, Mr. Short form of and is accepted here. You are not supposed to write A and D because space will be wasted. Mr. and Mrs. Gopal. Now, first you wrote who are the people who are inviting. What are they doing? They invite you. But here we need a little bit high language which is a little bit decorative. You can write solicit your gracious presence. Solicit your gracious presence. These are the 4 words, you by heart them and you can write them. And why is it that they wanted the presence, your presence there? Why is your presence required? Solicit your gracious presence. Why? On the occasion of the marriage of, what should we write here? My daughter, or should I write their daughter? What should we write? Their daughter. Why? When a person reads it, I told you, we invite you. Means as soon as you read, you feel that you are invited. Is it clear? When it is written my daughter, means whoever is reading it will feel that his or her daughter is getting married. Is it understandable? That's the reason why we have to write it their daughter. Immediately we will understand that it is Mr. and Mrs. Gopal's daughter. Is it clear? So, solicit your gracious presence on the occasion of wedding of their daughter, marriage of their daughter, both are accepted. Here you can write Sita in the center in capital letters, and those whoever have the habit of writing in Telugu, they write Chila Sau. Chiranjeevi, Lakshmi, Saubhagyavati. That is the style that they write. In this place, what is the word that they write before? Like, whatever you wanted, you can write, or simply you can write in this way, Sita. Please don't write Mrs. Sita. There are some people who write that, it is wrong. Understood? So, now as soon as we say Sita, who is she? She is the daughter of whom? Mr. and Mrs. Gopal. Is it clear? You are saying it is a wedding of their daughter Sita. Clear? With whom? Here in the center we are writing with. What's the name that we decided? Ram. Who is he now? Here we are going to write son. In the bracket we are writing son of Mr. and Mrs. Rakesh. Whatever name came to my head, I am writing it. Mr. and Mrs. Rakesh. Now we told that you are invited. We told the occasion, that is Sita is getting married to Ram. Then again we have to tell the date, time, venue. Is it clear? So what will be the date that we are going to write for this? No need of writing 1 month in advance. You can just write it in a week's time. Don't write immediately next day. Understood? So today is 19th. You can say maybe 27th, 28th, any date can be given. Yes? We already wrote this, Ram with Sita. When now? You can write only one word, on. You can write the 25th August 2024 at 7:30 a.m. p.m. whichever time you decide, please write that time. Here in one line itself we wrote the date as well as the time. After we write the date and the time, we are supposed to write venue. Where is it? At YG Mahal. It is in KV Kuppam, that's the reason why I am writing it. YG Mahal. Where is the place? You can write in the same line if the alignment is, if place is there for alignment. If the place is not there for center alignment, you can go to the next line. I think I am able to get answers from most of you all correctly. Is this clear till here? Everyone understood all the points? We told the date, we told them the time, we also gave them the venue. What's the next thing that we have now? Anything else to be added? I wanted from you, please. Yes, Jeevan. Food. What should we talk about food? Should we say food or should we say dinner? In case we write dinner, if it is AM, it doesn't suit at all. Breakfast would be suitable. Breakfast, don't say breakfast. It is break, short, it's breakfast. So if you are writing AM, write breakfast. If it is PM, write dinner. Or you can also add a reception also. Is it understandable? Don't get confused. Write only clearly AM or PM. If you have written AM, write breakfast. If you have written PM, write dinner. Shall we write dinner itself? So shall we make this A into P? So after writing this, dinner 8 PM onwards. Is it accepted like this? 8 PM onwards, dinner is accepted. That's all. Any other thing that I should include? Party. There are some people who go for DJs. It won't be on marriage day. It will usually be on the reception day. Pardon me? Accommodation for the night. See, for accommodation for the night and such kind of things, it's not needed to write in this. Because nowadays, no, even close relatives are also going back home. Who, for in case there are some people who had come from far off places, accommodation will be taken care of. We have nothing to write about it in the invitation. We are just telling only this. Anything else that can be included here? Last one is there, with best compliments from. Understood? I have written this in one line, and in the center I will write near and dear. Did you all get this point about RSVP? No one asked me, and I forgot to talk about RSVP in the formal invitation. RSVP is written in formal invitations, that is official style. But we cannot write it for college invitation, school invitation. If it's a small office, suppose there is a party conducted in the office, then they can go for that RSVP. It is because number of people who are invited there may be 40 or 50. It won't go long, the number won't be larger than that, and at that time they ask RSVP. It is nothing but to tell whether you are going to attend the function or not. In this, don't write RSVP. Only write with best compliments from, near and dear. After that, we are closing it. In case you remember anything else, please let me know so that I'll be able to add in it. Everything covered? Yes? Now that you saw card model of invitations in the formal variety for one person, it is informal variety letter model. Another one we had seen card model, two things again. One official variety where it's for college or schools or any organization. Another one is within family and friends. Is this clear till here? Yes. So now let us go to other varieties of invitations. So how many varieties of invitations are there? Only two varieties as we saw before, formal and informal. Let me now come back to the first page where we started here, formal and informal. Now let me continue in this informal one. Do you think that there are letters, that is invitations written in informal style? Yes, we write. And once we say it is informal style, you should remember that this letter which is written in informal style invitation is for a small group of people. This could be 3 or 4 people only. In that, you are one of them. Is it understood? Now, who do you think writes such kind of letters? Such kind of invitation. I am repeatedly saying letters. Let me tell invitation. Who do you think gives you such a kind of an invitation? So please remember, there are again two categories of people who can invite you personally. They can be friends or close relations. Is it understood? That's the reason why I wanted to write here. First, I'm going to write relations or relatives. And the second one is friends. Now, why do you think you are invited like that? Again, there could be n number of reasons, but first and the foremost reason could be the celebration is only within the family or among the loved ones. Is it understood? Sometimes celebrations are done. Maybe it's a birthday party, but they don't want to conduct a grand one. Instead, they wanted it to be only within the family and 1 or 2 close friends. Is it understood? Sometimes there could be a get together after a gap of 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, in case you all are working or you are abroad or you have settled some other place. At that time, you could be called for a get together. At that time, even though the number could be 100 also, it becomes only informal invitation in the form of a letter. Why? What's the difference between a card model and a letter model of invitation? If it is card model, it is standard. Certain rules and regulations are followed. But when it comes to informal variety of a letter model invitation, at that time here people speak everything from the heart. When I say speak from the heart, here we write from the heart. That means, do we have any standard rules and regulations? No. We can write comfortably. Just as you're speaking, the matter can be put on the paper. Is it understood? Everyone got the point? You saw that when we invite one person to be the chief guest, we write the invitation in letter model, but that is formal letter. When it comes to invitation for a small group of people, it is also in the letter model, but it is informal. Now, always remember the difference between formal letter and the informal letter. When it is formal letter, we have the sender's name and address, we have the receiver's name and address, we have subject, and we have thank you and yours sincerely. These things miss when it comes to the informal. So, how do we have it? Let me extend the page. So, let me draw here again a page. I'm writing here the number 4A. In this, we have to write sender's address. It is required. Sender's address is required. We leave a line, we write the date. I'm writing again today's date itself, 19/8/24. No subject, please. No receiver's address, no subject. Directly we come to salutation. So let us imagine that your sister's birthday is there or your brother's birthday is there only within the family, but because you are close to the family, they invite you for that birthday. So how are we going to write that? We again leave a line here. Here, dear is accepted. Dear could be accepted here. After dear, you can write the name, or you can write friend, or you can write buddy, you can write whatever you wish. Is it clear? Yes. Dear Vani, if it's a girl. Dear Vishal, some name, whatever name you feel is suitable in the question, you write. If no name is mentioned in the question, simply write dear friend, dear buddy, dear soulmate. Different, don't write soulmate, it doesn't look good. Write only dear friend or the name which is given there. Is it clear? Yes. Now that we know it is an informal kind of an invitation, what are the other things that we have to remember in it? Should we write how are you and all that? Actually speaking, we can write, but here there is a word limit. What's the word limit? 50 words only. Is it clear? Since it is only 50 words, let us not go to such kind of details. Directly we can start writing. How do we do that? I'm sure everything is fine with you. Don't say, how are you? I am fine. It's a waste of time and energy. I'm sure everything is fine with you. Is it understood? We can start in this way. Short forms are accepted in this manner. I apostrophe M. Otherwise, you should write I am. But here, I can write directly am. I'm sure you are fine. Everything is fine. You are fine. I'm sure all is good with you. You can write in varieties of ways. After you write that, directly come to the point. Do you remember my younger sister, elder sister, whichever sister is given in that question, depending on the question, you write. You remember my little sister? Now, is this a question or a sentence? This is not a sentence. It should actually be in the question form. It should be, do you remember my little sister? That is the correct style. But since this is informal, we are not following rules and regulations. Is it understood? If it is a correct procedure, what are we supposed to write? Do you remember my little sister? Clear? You remember my little sister? You can put simply like that. She is already, how old shall we make her? Let us not make her into a teenager, please. She is already turning 5 on 31st August. That's our Winter's birthday. She is already turning 5 on 31st August. You are telling that means, what's the meaning of she's turning 5 on that day? It's a birthday. Don't say birthday. It is wrong, please. Correct pronunciation is the sound must come. Birthday. No birthday. Birthday is wrong pronunciation. She's already turning 5 on 31st of August. Yes? Now what are we saying? There's a family party at home. There is a family party at home at 5 p.m. See, writing a family party might look a little bit awkward for some people. Really, is it a family party? Isn't it a birthday party? You might get a doubt. So, in case you get such kind of doubts, you can simply say there's a birthday. There's birthday party. You can change this family into birthday and you can write that. There's birthday party at home at 5 p.m. Yes. After you say that, what's the goal of writing this invitation? That person has to come, isn't it? So, will you politely say, you are requested to come to the party? Should we write that? No, you should be there. No excuses will be accepted. Is it understandable? It's because you're so close to that friend, you are not going to maintain distance. You're close. That's the reason you say you must be there. No excuses will be accepted. You can write in that manner. So I'm extending the line again. You will be there. And no excuses. Let me write this excuses again. You will be there and no excuses are accepted. Should we write thank you? Never. You will simply leave a line and you'll write yours lovingly. You can also write affectionately, yours affectionately, or you can simply write with love. Any of these three expressions are accepted. After that, you sign and whatever name is given, you write it in the bracket. That's all. Is this clear with this letter? Should I call it letter or invitation? It is an invitation. It's an informal invitation. Doubts? Any doubts, please? Now, we have understood how to write these invitations, formal and informal style. Do you think that replies are required for such kind of letters? Yes, they are required. It is because people must understand how these replies are given. Why should we bother about how these replies are given? We are not supposed to write these replies in whatever way we want it. There are certain rules and regulations to write these replies. That's the reason why let me now start with the replies. So for the invitations, we have even replies. Let me put an arrow mark here and write replies. We again, just as we have invitations in two models, formal and informal, replies are also there in formal and informal variety. Now let us first concentrate on the formal replies. When it comes to the formal replies, we had seen card model of invitation. This doesn't come for the reply, this comes for the invitation. Let me write INV so that you will remember it as invitation. We had seen that formal invitations are there in two varieties. One is card model, another one is formal letter. Do you all remember it? Yes? Now, understand that for card model of invitation, we don't go for replies at all. We have only for letter model of invitation, that is formal letter invitation only we have a reply. What does it mean? When we invite one person to be the chief guest for an occasion, then we expect a reply from that person. Just before we wrote an invitation, isn't it? In the letter format, asking some IPS officer to be the chief guest for some sports day. I think you all remember that. So at that time, what was the last sentence that we wrote? Looking forward for an affirmative reply at the earliest, or you can say within a week. At the earliest would be better instead of writing within a week. Why? It is because you wanted to make arrangements. What sort of arrangements are there? Giving sufficient practice for the students, getting ready for purchasing of all the things required, getting ready for the venue. All these things must happen. That's the reason we are giving the chief guest almost 1 month time to give their acceptance or refusal. Understood? Now we are waiting for the reply. Did all understand why we require a reply for formal invitation which is written in the form of a letter? Is it clear? Now, how are we supposed to write this reply? Do you all remember how we wrote the invitation? We wrote it in the form of a formal letter. That is sender's address, left a line, we wrote the date, we left a line, and then we wrote receiver's address, we left a line, we wrote subject, we left a line, we wrote salutation, and then we continued writing about the matter. We left a line, wrote thank you, and then a line was left, wrote yours sincerely, signature and name was there. That was the whole procedure for formal invitation in the letter model for a single person to be the chief guest. Correct? Now, we have to write the reply. Who is supposed to write the reply? Suppose you are making the IPS officer. You have invited the IPS officer. Am I right? Will the IPS officer himself sit and write the reply? No. Who do you think writes the reply then? The PA writes the reply. So, how should that reply be? Should it be in the letter model? It should be just like a short notice. It should be in third person. Is it understood? It should not be in the first person. It should be in the third person. Now, let us write the reply. Let me take the page. Let me write for A or something like that. And here you can write the address of the sender. And here, one more thing is there, children. Date has to be written. Now, we wrote that date on 19th, isn't it? Let us write this on 28th. 28/8/24. Now, the whole content has to be written by the PA. So, the PA will not write, I got your invitation, I'm sorry, I cannot come. All such kind of things are wrong. So, how will the PA say? First thing is, the PA thanks the person whoever is inviting. Yes? So, it comes in this way. If at all you are writing with the officer's name, directly we'll write Mr. Arvind thanks you, let me dictate please, for the invitation of being the chief guest for the function. First sentence is, he thanks. Is it clear? You can even write, he congratulates you for celebrating that silver jubilee. That also is accepted. You can either write congratulating that person for that program, or you can say that he thanks you for the sake of it. Any of it is accepted. Is it understood? First thing is, Mr. Arvind thanks you for inviting him to be the chief guest. He also, if you're writing this first, write he also congratulates you for celebrating that occasion. Yes, if you're writing he congratulates you for celebrating this occasion, second sentence will be he also thanks you. Is it clear? Whichever you are writing first, the second one you have to add also and write that matter. Any doubts still here? Clear. So what's the next thing that we have to tell? Directly we should tell either it is accepting or refusing. In case in the question it is mentioned to say that you are not ready to be the chief guest, write it so. Yes, in case they do not give in the question whether you should accept it or refuse it, then you decide which is easy for you to write. Which is easy for you to write? Accepting is easy, you write accepting. If you feel refusing is easy, write refusing. Actually speaking, refusing is easy. Why is refusing easy? With the 2 sentences, we can finish the matter. How can we finish the matter within 2 sentences? We are telling first sentence, thanking. Second sentence, we are continuing by telling that you are congratulating that person for celebrating that occasion. Then, in case you are accepting, Miss, he is pleased. Don't repeat Mr. Arvind, Mr. Arvind. Instead, you will say, he is pleased to be the chief guest for that day. If it is acceptance, he is pleased to be the chief guest for that occasion or for that day. And then what will you add? Short sentences are required. Next sentence, he will be there at the venue half an hour before the program starts. Done? After that, signature. That's all. No thank you, no sincerely, nothing. Is it understood? In case it is refusing, what is the reason that we can give for refusing? Only prior appointments. Don't say I. However, when you wanted to say negatively, you should say first 2 sentences, it's positive, isn't it? Congratulating them and then thanking them. Third sentence must be, however, he is unable to be the chief guest for that occasion. And then you say, it is because of prior appointments. Is it clear? That means he already, that date is fixed for some other occasion in some other place. So, he is not available on that day. All understood that point? Yes? And then the last one you can add. He is ready to be the chief guest for your organization at some other time in the near future. If the word limit is not completed, you can add that sentence. Is it clear? Should we write thank you or yours sincerely or anything? Nothing, please. And after everything is completed, Arvind's name and signature. Is it clear? Any doubts? Is this clear till here? Yes. Now let us go with the replies for informal invitation. And once we say informal letters invitation, we can understand it is easy. Why is it easy? It is because we write it from the heart, and what else do we do? It's very easy for us to write the reply for informal letters. Why is it so easy? It is because again, we are writing it from the heart and you don't bother about any kind of rules and regulations interconnected to the format except for same variety. You write in this style itself, address, then you write the date, but here date changes. Why does it change? It is because you will be replying within 2 or 3 days. We wrote here that 31st is the birthday, isn't it? Since the letter is written on 19th, maybe on 21st or so, you will be replying it. Only date here changes. So let me put it in this manner here. For B, I am writing. You write in the same manner from close to the margin. Address, it is senders. You leave a line and you write the date. That is 23rd of August 2024. And you will write salutation, dear Vani. Now, what should be written here? whatever is the name of the friend given. Maybe it is Dear Prakash, some name. Yes? Is it clear? Now, how should the reply start? In this, when it is the invitation, we saw that the person has written, I'm sure you're fine. You remember my little sister. She's already turning 5. All these things are there. Now, as reply to that, how are we going to write it? You are writing, Dear Prakash, and then you will continue. Yes, you guessed it right. Everything is fine with me. Yes, and then how can I forget your little sister? Can be the next sentence. Yes, what can be the third sentence? She's already turning 5 on 5th of August. I know that her birthday is that day. You can tell that. And next sentence, there's birthday party at home. Even if you hadn't invited, I would have been there. You can write like that. Is it understood? Or else how can you can write it even in another way. I'll surely be there for the party. You can write, even if you don't invite me, or even if you hadn't invited me, I would be there for the party. Or in simple language, you can write, I will surely be there for the party. Is it understood? And what will be the last line? Looking forward to have a wonderful time with all at home. That's all. And should we write thank you? No. What else should we write? Yours lovingly, or yours affectionately, or else with love. Any one of it is accepted. Is it clear? Everyone understood it? It will be like how you are replying here. I am sure you are fine. You can say, yes, everything is fine. You remember my little sister? For that you can say, I cannot forget her. Usually children don't do pranks, but I'm writing sweet pranks. I added a little. And then she's already turning 5 on 31st. I remember her birthday. Here I can write B apostrophe day. It is accepted. I remember her birthday very well. Simple polite language, you can say, I shall be there by 3 p.m. itself. After that, what do you say? Looking forward for a wonderful time. After that, what do you write? You simply write, you leave a line and write yours. We already wrote here lovingly, so let me write here affectionately. You can write this affectionately, or else you can simply write with love. And what's the name that you have to write here? Vani. Is it done? Any doubts still here? So we completed invitations and replies, formal as well as informal so far. Let us have some practice before we continue writing the other things now.